markets and just saying, wow, all right, well, guess we are going back down again. Woo. Yeesh. Yeah, just listen. Don't even be looking at the charts. Be looking here because we are going to be covering all of the craziness that is happening. We're going to talk about the GameStop news. We got the Kelsey partnership, or at least their new prediction markets coming for collectibles. We got some other news around collectibles just as a whole. We are going to look at an old collection that has got a pickleball court now, and yeah, I mean, how are we doing? Yo, no credits. What's up? How are you feeling? Honestly, every day you go out and you look, right? And you see how everybody's reacting to these different things. And there's a lot of like voices on the timeline that are like consistently verbalizing things. And then just a lot of accounts that were like very talkative before, they're just kind of quiet. And I don't necessarily think that's even like a bad thing, but everybody's like, all right, we're just going to kind of, coast and see how things are going to transpire. But if you said before, hey, you know what, the markets were frothy at one point, yeah, I don't know if you're thinking that anymore. So December shall be interesting, but let's get into all of the details. You've absolutely seen this. I know you have. The GameStop Trade Anything promotion. We've got managers that work at GameStop that are crashing out, saying people are calling them all the time, saying, hey, can I bring in this item or that item to get it? The trade value is set at $5 for store credit, right? So think of anything where like I could sit here and be like, all right, this is a slab. This is probably worth more than $5. I have a soccer referee red card. Could I go in and potentially get $5 for this? Because also, listen, it came full. It comes with a yellow card and it comes with a pen so you can write down the players' names. Like, it's a full package. Like, I could get $5 store credit for this. Absolutely. But again, people are crashing out saying, more specifically, like the managers that work there, saying that people are wanting to bring in like just the randomest of things, even though they have like a full laundry list of what you can and can't. But either way, that promotion has caused quite the viral stir. Maybe unintentionally so, or intentionally. So WPR, but the human management side of things, or HR, I guess we should say, they're probably dealing with a hell of a time. Horrible, but like also like positive ending to a story. Zach XBT, one of the investigators on chain out in the crypto world. In 2024, a victim was brutally robbed for $4.3 million of crypto assets at gunpoint via home invasion in the UK after the attackers posed as delivery drivers. I am proud to share that Fairs and his two other accomplices were just sentenced, and nearly the full amount of stolen funds was seized by Met Police. I previously published my investigation identifying Ferris and worked closely with the victim to communicate all findings to law enforcement. Due to minor protection laws, certain details about the case remain sealed. Either way, bravo. Listen, absolutely love that Zach XPT is able to help people out that way. And again, do we just see more of an influx of people working on the security side of crypto? Because I feel like he's one of the only ones that are out there. Do they take some rugged NFTs for $5? Well, yeah, what now? What's going on? The video yesterday, if you didn't catch the stream, we looked over at Ronin Network and they paid the guys from Pawn Stars. Do you know the family of Pawn Stars? If you have the History Channel and people come in with like artifacts of different times, maybe it's like a sword from medieval times sort of situation. They bring in experts and they talk about it. And they did the series where somebody was showing on their phone, like, hey, I have this Axie Infinity land that I want to sell. And then they brought in like the founder of Axie Infinity to come in as like the expert. And they were trying to like do that. And I'm envisioning, now that you've said that same situation now happening at GameStop, where they're like, well, we don't really know how to take that. But imagine if they accepted it. That would be kind of funny to go in and see if that could happen. But it's probably got to be some sort of physical. Big news, MasterCard chooses Polygon to launch username-based transfers for self-custody wallets. This is a big question around the Ethereum name service, or just, I guess, name services in general across different blockchains. Because, like, so Mercury IO, enhancing payment use growth with the leading Web3 companies. Okay, cool. But, like, are they going to accept ENS names? Is this under like a different precedent? We got more news here. Yeah, we do. Through MasterCard Crypto Credential, users can onboard once, receive a verified username, link their wallet, and get assets instantly without ever copying a hex string again. Just meaning, all the kind of like the OX Polygon, where all of it's like OX, like 345 L21 58. And you sound like you're calling a football play. Mercury will onboard verified users and issue credentials. While Polygon provides the blockchain rails, Polygon was selected as the default launch chain for one reason: payments, low infrastructure built for speed. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to think of like, would you end up using this? Like, I've seen people have those like crypto related credit cards, or like the MetaMask card. I'm trying to think, like, would I go on a MasterCard to then... Yeah, I guess so. I don't know why, but I feel like somewhat hesitant about like the Polygon aspect of it, because it's like, all right, well, if you're gonna send funds, they have to then figure out if it's like on Polygon to be able to bridge it to mainnet Ethereum, or if they need to go somewhere else. I'm probably overthinking it, but cool that we're seeing that. Does this have any impact though on like the Ethereum name service side of things? So we've been talking about marketing a little bit, right, with the whole GameStop thing. Somebody dropped off a whole bunch of homers, like we're talking like the Simpsons character, it's homers, in a city in the US. Like, why? And why? What an experience. Going out for dinner, and you got a whole bunch of Simpsons characters running around, and it is all the exact same. If you haven't checked, your chests from Wave 2 over on OpenSea are now unlocked. Suddenly seeing a wave of people being bullish on the OpenSea side of things as well. There's different team members saying that they think they are a top 3 crypto company and are, or at least trending towards there, and will continue to be so. So keep an eye on everything OpenSea related, if that is the case. And again, we've talked about the MetaMask airdrop, the base token potentially coming with like that December 17th, I think was the update of the bio on Coinbase. We got a lot of different things. Oh, and the MetaMask rewards program, and we're supposed to have a lot of airdrops in the midst of like the market absolutely taking a dump. Crazy. The most anticipated lot of the evening is coming from Sotheby's auction house. The Gustav Klimt Bildnis Elizabeth Lederer, portrait of Elizabeth Lederer, has just sold for an astonishing $236.4 million. Clearly there's levels to this whole financial game, and we are not at that level. It now stands as the most valuable work of modern art ever sold at auction. Okay, now we know. $236 million. That's what it looks like. This is an older clip from Lucanet's on a podcast. Look at the NBA shirt on her. That's actually super cool. With like, it's like a full tracksuit sort of deal. But this is the example of things that you see, and I guess for a perspective, right? I'm trying to think of like the V-Friends. There's got to be some like perspective. It's not perspective panda, it's patient panda, but some kind of animal. Anyway, Pudgy Penguins is getting credited for a ton of success almost all the time, and people think a lot of these stories of success started in some, magic fashion and everything went right. Well, here's a little bit of behind the scenes.
What you did and how you saved Pudgy Penguins and took it from being $60 and actually going to be kind of like ran to the ground to $100,000 asset.
We bought this business about 2.5-3 years ago for $2.5 million, seeded it for 500,000. Basically, the day we bought it was the beginning of the bear market, so it was down only. So much suffering. Business, literally at its last dollar multiple times. We haven't taken any money from community. Like, we just try to do everything right to the best of our ability and just try to create something that the space could be proud about. It was still a hard ride. A lot of people still didn't pay attention. Even recently, like 3 months ago, people were like, Penguins are dead. They had their run, right? Like as if I don't know what I'm doing. What we've accomplished, right? We're in 10,000 retailers, most notably Walmart and Target, have had monster collabs. Just did a Vandy collab, and he just did a Pokemon collab. We have billions of, north of 50 billion views on social, so I think 40 billion of those are on Giphy, right? I think is huge. So obviously through mimetic distribution, I don't think there's a crypto native IP outside of Doge that has more mimetic distribution to the normal world than us. Tons of lives change. I don't know if you've seen Pudgy Kindness or Kind Pengu on TikTok. Dude, we're changing lives on that channel, 500 million.
Yeah, the Kind Pengu thing's really cool. If you guys haven't seen that, basically it's like an account that they created, and they go around and like let's say there's like a Twitch streamer that's, hanging out doing its thing. We'll use me as an example, but like, they have X amount of followers or viewers, and they find this person, they get like a little bit of a backstory, and then they donate like just crazy amounts, and then it goes super viral because the reaction's amazing and stuff. And so again, like the kindness penguin aspect. But again, that's a little bit of a backstory for Pudgy Penguins, and it's cool hearing the stories of the different individuals in the space. Renga, another one within the Web3 angle of things. A new point of intersection for art, story, lifestyle, and community will soon be revealed. In Renga.space, what does the site look like? Okay, we got nothing. We can sign up with like an email and a name, W, but we'll see what it is. Again, Renga is just kind of like an art collection that was created a while ago. Renga is a carefully curated handcrafting collection inspired by community art and imagination. So it's very unique style to it. We'll see what the updated thing. Isn't this what, like, any of you ever do Warhammer back in the day where you had those like plastic nets like this, and there was components to it that you like knocked out, and then you had to glue together, and then you had to paint the whole thing. Wow, that takes me back. The end point of all human entertainment, says Robbie Ferguson, will be some variant of Web3 gaming, crypto gaming, blockchain gaming, whatever. It may well blend reality TV and politics and sport and gambling, but it will be a game, and it will be certainly on crypto rails. I'm telling you, every day, this is like one of the few people that are like just forward-thinking, bullish posting all the time. Zagabond bringing back up their Izuki collab from before. I guess I shouldn't even say collab, but they did some merchandise, but teasing that maybe something is coming for the Izuki trading card game. We'll see what that collab potentially looks like, but could be sort of cool. Bored Ape, one of arguably the most rare within the set, going for basically $100,000, which is cuckoo banana pants, but also does kind of show, hey, you know what? The market's fallen down a little bit, but the people, similar to the 238 whatever million modern art piece that was bought at auction, you got some people out there still looking to scoop what they find as grails. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness dropped 30 years ago today. Shout out to all the pumpkins out there. That one's coming from No Credits. I need to remove, not remove, but I need to put the chat back on the screen here. I need to figure out how to do that. I've had people that come in and are like, why is nobody watching? I'm like, well, it depends if you're watching on like X, Twitch, YouTube, or on Abstract. I think I have like a live stream going on Facebook now as well, but that account doesn't really have. Dude, it's weird. Facebook like will randomly pop up like some person's name that like is absolutely not a real name. They're like, that's followed. I'm like, that sounds like a bot account. Look, okay, take a look at this. Take a look at this. So this sounded crazy to me, but the real number is 19%. 19% of base transactions yesterday were from X402. Now, I have to admit, I'm still trying to like fully grasp this, but it's like a payment between agents, right? Because we keep hearing these conversations, and you can use different platforms like the virtual butler and type in and say, hey, I want you to buy X amount of tokens if it hits this, or I want you to get like yield on my stablecoin, and it will go out and do these things. And there's like these little payments between all these agents, but 19% of all of base transactions, right? Like the base network from Coinbase is from X402. And that kind of signifies there is some significant happenings within the agent scene. So keep an eye on that to grow a little bit more. So this coming from Punk9059. Dour Darcels now have their own pickleball center in China, and floor is like basically free. So I had to check it out. And like legitimately, they took the brand and IP, and that was the whole concept, right? With a bunch of these NFTs was, hey, we have some sort of like a brand or an IP. Let's try to build this out in a various way. And these guys decided to do it with Pickleball, which is sort of neat. But at the same time, people are like, oh my God, there's no airdrop. There's not this, that, and the other thing. But you can see some of those different characters within the background. And this is like what the Dour Darcels collection looks like overall. But at one point doing 11.4 thousand ETH in volume. Again, just, your generative collection of sorts. So I saw this post from DJ Griffith, which I thought was sort of interesting because like there's a comment here from Brian Armstrong, but he's like, I think there is a direct relation with the recent Bitcoin sell-off and upcoming crypto legislation. Probably companies holding Bitcoin pre-informed of what is coming, and they have been dumping hard because of that. Now, that's obviously like a personal opinion of something, but obviously you look at the market, you're like, all right, well, is this like a whole bunch of like individuals selling and saying, holy crap, the market's going lower? Because again, you read on the timeline, people are like, no, like these are the institutions, these are the ETFs selling, but we do have the crypto legislation that's supposed to be passed very shortly.
Hey everyone, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO here. I'm in the halls of Congress, back again, pushing for market structure legislation. We've seen a lot of progress since I was last here. We've now seen draft text shared by the Senate Ag Committee. Senate Banking is also working nights and weekends to get the next iteration of their text out. So we've got a good chance, I think, of a markup for this bill in December, and hopefully get it to the president's desk shortly thereafter. This would be a big milestone to get crypto unlocked with clear rules in the US, which would benefit all companies. But of course, Coinbase wants to be the top crypto company, so we're working hard on product in the meantime as well. And December 17th, we've got our product event, which you can tune in on the live stream to see everything we've been building in the second half of this year. Thanks all of you for continuing to show up and contact your
So, okay, so it's a product launch. Does that mean that it's the base token? I don't know. That makes me think probably not. But some kind of big presentation happening in the middle of December. We talked about OpenSea earlier. They're on some TV as well. Listen, everybody's getting on mainstream TV lately.
We're really excited about is building a platform where people can trade everything that represents the broader landscape of crypto goods, which includes NFTs, but it also includes tokens, right? And so OpenSea is really focused on this idea of let's bring crypto to a broader consumer base, and let's really bring a platform to those people that allows them to trade anything super seamlessly. So that's what we consider our core business now.
Well, I mean, duh. I mean, think of how many people are trading NFTs, right? Like, it's like a very, very small subset. It's almost like saying a swear word in public if you say that too loud, right? NFT. People yoink you. Unreal. But the token side of things, like, think of the market for how many people are trading tokens every single day. And the stablecoin aspect too, like that would actually probably be the first thing in like a prediction market. Will OpenSea do a stablecoin like we've seen with PayPal, like we've seen with MetaMask, like we've seen with literally everyone? Yo, trailer, what's going on? I think that's a great idea by OpenSea. Yeah, no, it's absolutely brilliant, but it's weird that it took them like sort of this long to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, is this something that was like not sort of obvious over the past couple of years, especially with like the decline of things? But listen, we got to love the physicals out here. Look how just, people have all their interests, right? Whether it be antiques, the modern art that we looked at, I'm just trying to think of like other things that people collect. But like, to be fair, just a nice shiny slab of a Pokemon card. Very good. Yo, good to see you too, by the way. But within that, I saw this. How nuts is this? It's estimated, and this is for like Pokemon packs, it's estimated somewhere around 20 million packs are printed per set conservatively. It's probably a lot more with recent sets, and that's just the US English prints. 200 million packs of cards. Still think the aspect of like the transparency with the blockchain, even if they had like those numbers out there, maybe you don't necessarily need to use the blockchain, but just having some sort of idea of what those print runs are would be crazy. Kalshi X Stock X. Kalshi is one of those prediction markets. Labubu, Supreme, Pokemon, Jordans, trade collectible prediction markets only on Kalshi, which is like, I'm still trying to like fully understand what this looks like. I've seen people that have made comments saying, oh, these things are like very easy to predict, or insiders are going to run rampant with it. I mean, that's the same conversation around traditional prediction markets as well. So we'll see. But yeah, everything's kind of turning into like mass gambling here. Some news coming out of Vive. Big news, Vive fam. We're stepping into the future of digital collecting with Collect, a blockchain built for the world of fandom and collecting. Discover what this next chapter unlocks right there, right here, right now. I said here and now kind of in the same word there. But Vive, one of the platforms that has a ton of different licensed intellectual property they've had on the platform. Now, it seemed from my understanding that it's been kind of congregated of like, hey, you can only use it in this platform and not beyond, I think. Because that was something that also was happening with Candy Digital, but then they went over to Root Network, and the idea was that it was supposed to expand beyond, but then the whole Root Network aspect just went to hell, and then it was like, I don't know. So let's read what's going on here with Vive. Vive is moving to Collect, a new blockchain built for digital fandom. This upgrade strengthens security, protects provenance, and opens the door to long-term ownership features like self-custody. Your collection stays the same, but the foundation beneath it becomes feature-ready. Step into the next era of digital collecting with us. And this goes back to the conversation around the whole Pokemon thing, right? Pokemon is allegedly connected to Sui when that rumor completely died. But everybody just keeps saying, all right, if you're Pokemon or if you're somebody with like a massive brand, right, or you have like all these IPs and whatnot, why would you go and partner with somebody else? Well, obviously you probably get like earlier product market fit potentially, depending. But again, if you're your own big brand, that you already have that in whatever realm you're in, you get different users, right? You get the maxis of whatever chain that would be like, hey, woo, let's go and collect whatever on here and partake in it. But the real thing is just if you're able to build it yourself, it seems like that's what happened here, because I've never heard of Collect before, and now Vive is working with that. So they went out and they did just that. Breaking Giga supplements. You know Giga, which is like the Giga Chad? Like we're talking like the meme of that. Yeah, apparently they are now like in Walmart selling supplements. And this goes to the conversations around meme coins and their actual impact on things, right? Because what if meme coins turn into like utility coins in these sense, and everything just gets completely flipped on its head? So if I show you these 4 images here, do any of you get like a little hit of nostalgia for a second? Wondering what it is? These are the Guild Wars loading screens from back in the day, and recently announced. The fact that it launched 20 years ago, they're now launching it again, but as Guild Wars Reforged. One of my favorite video games of all time, now coming back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we got not great things necessarily happening in crypto. We got positive news headlines nonstop, and then we got Guild Wars returning. Today's an all right day. Today is an all right day. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Trailer, no credits. What Now Customs. Thank you guys so much for coming on through, and anybody else watching afterwards. Any likes, shares, and comments on the videos are super, super helpful, and I very much appreciate that. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, if you're wanting more content, we do the RWA SegMints Podcast, where we go and talk with some of the brightest minds in the industry. We just dropped an episode, I believe, yesterday with Matt Bartlett, where we went over what's going on with Segment, what is happening with the new Synced Collectibles app, which is a social app, and collecting kind of merged within one, and a little bit of some spice regarding Pokemon cards within the Web3 landscape. That's your little nitty gritty that you'll have to listen to here. But thank you guys so much for coming on through. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.